Hey everyone, welcome back to Journey with PKD. So, I have a question for you all. Do you speak in movie? Do you speak in story? Do you speak in metaphor just randomly in a conversation without stopping or giving any intro for it? Do you just go right into stories? Because this is something I do a lot with my brother and a lot of my friends. We just go right into stories. And it's because we've done this for years and years and years, and it's just become as natural as I am speaking to you right now. That's why you hear me use so many references in the first place with movies and film and different things, is because I love speaking in story. And I hope more people are doing it. I wonder if people are doing it, because it's such a wonderful way to take on this adventure that we're all on. When it comes to storytelling, we know that this is one of the main ways we communicate meaning and wisdom, right? For thousands of years, going back with the ancients and the Iliad and the Odyssey, all the way through scripture and spiritual traditions, to modern day filmmaking and books, and now it's digital content, etc. We are speaking in large part through stories to continue understanding and going about the human experience. And this is a very powerful thing. I think it's of great benefit to think of it as a technology that we human beings have. We have this technology of speaking in story. It is kind of what separates us from a lot of creatures. Just we have this ability to access different parts of ourselves, and dimensionally speaking, even society and culture, through speaking in characters and stories and experiences. And it's quite amazing. I think we can intuit this is the case when we talk about scripture and say taking Christ's Sermon on the Mount. And if you hear something like that, you can be deeply moved to change your life in a certain way, alter your behavior, how you're going about living. That is the power of storytelling, whether it's the Lotus Sutras, Sermon on the Mount, whatever you may be listening to that resonates with you and you say, I need to make a change. This is powerful. But so is true in the modern day with films and stories you share growing up over the holidays, you share with your family and friends, you share in moments that are repeated and habitualized with good feelings and growing up. Again, the holidays are a great time to talk about these sorts of things because we have lots of Thanksgiving movies and Christmas movies and things we share, whether it's sports and watching with your mom or your dad or different favorites that you watch over and over again. We're building this memory system, almost like a nervous system of stories on top of stories on top of stories, and what they can mean to our lives. And when we speak in story, we have this amazing gift, I would say, to bypass and shortcut, if you will, the system of our thinking mind, our analytical mind, and go right to something deeper, something from the heart, something that helps move us to actually do something different if we feel we're in a rut. And this is what I mean. Like, I'll be talking to my brother and say there's a time period where someone's going through isolation or feeling a little bit like it's too much. We just need to retreat a little bit for a second, and bam, there comes in the metaphor of, hey, remember the Fortress of Solitude and Superman, and when he gave up his powers or lost his powers and he retreated back in. Remember when he did that? And what happened after? And all the things that go within it. And this is a way that we are communicating beyond just a thought, but now we're bringing in an experience that's so much more colorful. And I mean, this is the power of the technology of storytelling. You could take something like Star Wars, which has been huge in the collective consciousness for decades and decades, is being passed on from families and different generations now. Something that reached such an epic scale of influence that it was referred to as a handshake. If you said, "May the force be with you," someone else, and if they'd seen that, they understood it, they'd be like, "Yeah, I got that. I got that." And everything that goes with that line and what that means. And you can take a scene from so many scenes you can take from Star Wars, but you can take that scene of, say, where Obi-Wan sits down with Luke and he tells him, well, what I told you was true from a certain point of view. And you have Luke's reaction, a certain point of view. And in that moment, you get so much. You have the mentor and father figure of Obi-Wan to Luke, Luke's experiences where he's already faced Vader. You have the difficult decision of a master trying to tell his student, an apprentice, essentially you're not ready to know this information yet. It would affect your journey in a negative way. You are not mature enough. And so you have all this wisdom being transferred, and you add the music and you add the feeling tone of it, and that he's a ghost figure. He's already passed. He's speaking from another realm. And all of that's there. And all the discussions you've had with your friends on these topics, and then you add that to a conversation when you're speaking to someone, like my friends and my brother do a lot. And then it carries this way to access something from an impersonal standpoint. Now you're in the realm of story, metaphor, archetype, myth, and you're not judging yourself, right and wrong. What am I doing? In fact, someone can come along, someone you may go to for a friend or family for advice, and they may say the exact same thing. Well, maybe see it from a different point of view, which could be great advice. But you're unable to hear it because your mind is defending. You're thinking too much. But when you go to the realm of stories, you're kind of bypassing that, and you're going to this deeper realm. And all that goes with it, all the experiences you've had, the good, the positive, the observing nature you had in watching the film itself, which is a very powerful thing from film. We get to watch, as observers, other people observe characters and go through things, trials and challenges and mistakes and mess ups, and we get to sit from the comfort of our chair and observe the human experience. And there's something amazing that happens when we're clued into that, and we have these reference points throughout our childhood and growing up, and then we reference them back. And it doesn't have to be all super meaningful and deep, but memorable scenes, lighthearted, funny scenes. I mean, friends and my brother, we're all quoting Jurassic Park or Bloodsport, okay, USA, and Must Go Faster or Independence Day or Terminator, whatever it is. There are these moments that mean something to us, and we're sharing in that. And it's kind of like the Olympic torch, where we're lighting the fire and going from city to city, and we're continuously keeping the human tradition alive. And I think that's why storytelling in and of itself is so powerful. We get that 40,000 foot view. We can remove judgment and really look at things from a more heart-centered place, especially when you add in music and all the senses being involved and memories around holidays and why we watch certain holiday movies, and we want to remember these stories. So it's fun to speak in story. It's a technology. It can be helpful. It's a resource. To this day, I'm still having debates with friends and continuing conversations from just a pure fan perspective, and then also referencing it with life. How someone like Jack Nicholson's character in A Few Good Men is somebody I understand deeper and can see his point of view more as I got older than when I just thought when I was younger, oh, he's kind of the villain. I kind of understand him more now, and because I've gotten older. It's this organic breathing thing. It's alive. And because we're alive. And if you have kids, I have friends who have kids who have different points of view now, or maybe they have a deeper understanding of something because they're like, oh, I understand now what it's like for the father to have struggled with this really hard decision for his family, or the redempting factor of Luke and his father. You have so many amazing ways that in levels to playing in this reality that you have access to. And so do you guys do this? I'm curious. Comment below, like, subscribe, and share. But do you do this with your friends or your sister or your mother or your father? There's certain things that you've kept going in traditions that you always quote, that you talk about, that you're grateful for, that you continuously reference, that it doesn't get old. It's just there. And do you talk in this way? I highly encourage it because it's something I've just known, but I'm wondering if you guys do this, if you speak in this way, if you do it, you have a group of friends you can do this with, because I think it's extremely helpful and fun and adds so much more meaning. So I hope you're doing this. I hope this is out there, and you're having a good time with stories and metaphor and the human tradition. Keep on keeping it alive, and it's okay if you need to hear it. It's okay to speak in story. There are more of us out there doing the same thing if you don't know that. So take care, Godspeed, and hopefully wherever you are, you're enjoying your journey. Peace. It's okay to speak in story.
So what I told you was true, from a certain point of view.
A certain point of view?